Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. I'm back with a live stream. It's been a minute. Good to be back. Want to wrap with everybody. A lot of excitement heading into the spring game on April 23rd. I'll be down there in Austin, Texas. I know Trent will always be there, but all of us be down there. Kieran, the whole crew, everybody's going to be up there. Support Texas football, having a good time under the lights. A little night action. So just a lot to jump into and discuss. Been so much going on. Myself personally, just life update. Been nothing bad. All good. Just really, really busy. A lot of family events. WrestleMania a couple weeks back, and just a lot of work related events from my professional career, which has fortunately been popping off really well. But responsibilities at home come first. But I want to jump into this as well as next week. We're gonna have, I think, a couple live chats that we have planned. So a lot things will pick up here on the channel, but just want to update you guys. Want to give a quick thank you before we really get rolling to busr.com/fanatic, the official sportsbook, official sponsor, official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. If you hit up busr.com/fanatic right now, you'll see the 100% match on your initial deposit, as well as 25 free casino chips and spins. So, BSR 24/7, amazing service, amazing, partner. We have Earl Spence Jr. against Ugas this weekend, which is a huge fight here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So a lot to lock in on BUSR, as well as some of the play in action. So in regards to the Horns, because this is going to be a Texas football related chat this evening, and I see some of you guys commenting in already. Tran's going to be here next week. So you guys look out for Wednesday for live show with Tran. I'll overlay the chat because I want this to be chat led tonight. But in terms of just right off the top, Quinn Ewers, because I want to get to some of the comments that I saw initially, some of the questions already. Quinn Ewers gave his first media availability today. We also saw Hudson Card speak. Big deal, because we really haven't had Quinn address the media at all. So, getting in front, getting to answer questions. And we already know how the media has been this week. I didn't even touch on, and I saw Jonathan ask about it earlier. I didn't see, I hadn't even touched on Moro Ojimo and Steve Sarkisian, that whole thing. We'll jump into all that. But I wanted to start with the quarterbacks out there. They said everything, both Hudson and Quinn. I know some people were a little taken back by the media asking Hudson Card about transferring and why did he come back and all that type of stuff. They've got to look, the media people, all that type of stuff, they've got a job to do. No doubt about it. And if you ever watched, for those of you who watch Friday Night Lights, do you remember they used to get asked ridiculous questions on that show too? And some of the questions that, spark certain things. So I didn't really pay attention to the question that Hudson Card got asked about why he came back to Texas. I paid more attention to his answer, because his answer told me his head is in the right place in terms of the competition, in terms of what's best for the football team. I want him to have a mentality as a starter, even though we're all excited about Quinn. And this energy is different this year versus last year with Hudson Card versus Casey Thompson, where us as a community, people were really split. It was really, really divided. Right now, I think everyone's hoping that Quinn is, and I hate using this word, but he's that savior. He's that gives you that quarterback play. And when I made my 5 most important players with Tran for the spring, Quinn was number 1 for all, everything you want to, we touched on about what we're looking for from the quarterback position at Texas. This is not deep stuff, but we're hearing behind the scenes, and I think this is where we're really, really getting excited as a fan base. We're hearing behind the scenes all the stuff we want to hear. Somebody said in the comments about Quinn being MVP of the big scrimmage, and some of the practice reports about Quinn Ewers looking nuclear in practice. Then the little video that leaks today of him throwing to Jatavian Sanders. Then you see the clips that Texas football social media team has been posting, where they're showing the beautiful throws and all those things. It's very clear where the what Texas is trying to push, and how well he must be playing behind the scenes for them to feel comfortable pushing that stuff. We all asked for that. So these are good things right now. These are good things right now. Dorian, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Hope all is well with y'all over in Louisiana. Dorian Johnson, older brother of Roshan Johnson, one of the captains, one of the elder statesmen, one of the most important guys on the team. So Dorian, thank you for the super chat. It's good to be back on here, man. It's been a minute. So catching up with everybody. Hope the fam's good as well, man. Hey, let me know in the chat if you're coming, Dorian, if you're coming to the spring game. But they've got to be media savvy. See, Homer's in here too, and this is exactly what we're talking about. It's more important about what they're saying. We got to pay more attention to how these players are handling it and how they're answering the questions versus the whatever they're being baited or whatever stuff they're trying to show. I also appreciated Hudson Card, by the way. Really, both Hudson Card and Quinn talking about their faith. And that's something that I appreciated from Sam Ellinger. We know it's Easter season right now, and Jesus is the reason for the season. For at least on this channel for me. So to hear them both touch on that of how that's impacting their confidence heading into the battle. I mean, I completely agree. Not biting on it, showing your media savvy. I mean, if we get into the whole Moro and Sark thing, because I didn't touch on that, I didn't make a video on it because I didn't think it was really a story because I thought both people were right. But if y'all want to hear my comments on it, I thought everything Moro said about his perspective as a Texas football player from what he's seen on the program and what's plagued us, it doesn't defer from anything that Tope Amade said last year. It doesn't defer from anything that players of the past that have left, good, bad, and indifferent, have said. So I understand when players' names get mentioned, it makes people uncomfortable. It can make the player uncomfortable, especially if he didn't address that face to face. Totally get that. Totally get that. I could see that side of it. Now, Steve Sarkisian is also, he has to be the one that says, hey, we've got to have some decorum. We've got to have some discretion. He never said he disagreed with the message. He never said he disagreed with more holding people accountable. But hey, you've got to work on your own stuff. You've got to, you're accountable for your play as well. Got to pick it up. So from both standpoints, they're right. I understand the drama because it's Texas and we're just giving people, especially national media, just room to run with anything. That's fine. That's always going to be the case. But from a standpoint of like actual drama, what did anybody say that we didn't already know? Please tell me. What do we not know? Because if you guys are uncomfortable about the alcohol and the women comment, have you been to college? Have you been to Austin? I mean, that's what you have to combat. No matter what major program you go to, where you go, like that's college, right? My biggest thing that when I talk to kids in terms of, because I do some mentorship at work as well with kids that are looking to leave college and come to the professional realm and all of that. My biggest thing is you got to know how to move. And what I mean by that is you're going to have your fun. All these kids are going to have your fun. All these kids are going to have, chase certain things, all that type of stuff. But you got to know how to move. You got to know how to prioritize. If you're prioritizing winning, if you're prioritizing your craft, you're still going to participate in other things. Did the when Texas was rolling in the mid 2000s, that they still have people on the team get in trouble? They still have people on the team partying their asses off. They still have people on the team chasing stuff. They just prioritized winning, and the team held everybody account. Exactly, Lando. They player accountability was there. But for people hearing some of the issues going on about, oh, this, that's just college. Have y'all been to Texas? Have y'all been to college? I know what I did freshman year of college. So this whole stuff, blowing stuff out of proportion, that's what I got to say on that. And the other thing, the last thing I'll say on this too, if I'm Steve Sarkeesian, I'm telling my people inside the locker room, listen to people like Moro Ojimo. I'm not just because he's not going to talk to the media anymore. That doesn't mean nothing to me. That still doesn't mean he can't move and be a leader inside the locker room and understand what has played this program and what good looks like and where things need to progress to, especially the people that are working hard and committed to their craft. So I have no problem with that. And the other side, if I'm Steve Sarkeesian, I also have to look at this as a boss, right? As a, hey, I'm running this corporation. I'm Mac Brown now. I'm the CEO of the operation. I do have to publicly keep stuff in house. But by the way, y'all, hey, y'all hold each other accountable. Y'all move the way y'all need to move. Today, Quinn Ewers talked about in his media availability, you heard him talk about Matt Ryan and the story with Steve Sarkisian holding Julio Jones accountable and Matt Ryan being comfortable yelling at Julio, commanding better from him. That's player accountability, right? That's especially from the quarterback position. So that should be encouraged behind the scenes. No doubt about it. That should be encouraged. Yeah, I'm dripped up today. I'm dripped up today. Man, um we almost to spring getting ready to see some live action football. So yeah, y'all hit the like button. I'm sorry I didn't make my announcement coming in off top. Subscribe, hit the like button, whole bit. Um, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's college. You know, even the Gilbo situation, people get in trouble. Is that a problem across the entire program? Aren't people getting in trouble all over the place around college football? I mean, at some point, we got to understand the difference between just college kids doing dumb shit sometimes and, oh, this is specific to Texas, right? Or this is a certified Texas problem, a Texas culture problem. I've made videos on that in the past. Y'all know what's up. But not everybody's going to be a good soldier. And not everybody's going to hang on. And like people are going to have to find their way in their journey. People are going to get in trouble sometimes. Somebody said, anyway, Kieran is going to join me next week. Kieran and I are working on a few different projects. And if you guys have not seen his hilarious real ass, it's hilarious, but it's hilarious because he was telling the truth about the internal conversation as a Texas fan that goes on of to drink the Kool-Aid or to not drink the Kool-Aid. Go check that out. It's all over social media. I'll link it below. But I'm so, Kieran's hilarious as is, but it was a very, very real conversation, My man said Quintavious earlier. I saw that. Yeah, that video, absolutely hilarious. But we'll have him on here to touch on certain things. I agree. No, I agree, Des. Texas is not the only program with issues. No, this is like when something crazy happens, we'll touch on it. Like the the Bo Davis situation where we got people recording stuff or whatever. So, I mean, it is what it is. Texas Homer. Exactly. Me and Homer, we talk about this stuff all the time too. It's like It's like, bro, we got to we got to be real about it in terms of operating in a realm of reality, especially some of you guys that have kids. Some of you guys that are old enough to have kids going to college or have been to college yourself. Y'all know what's up. Totally agree. Totally agree, Homer. We can talk. We can talk whatever y'all want to talk. I see a lot of people are excited. Jay Hall from who has left Alabama. Speaking of people getting in trouble and stuff, and hitting the transfer portal from Nick Saban and all that. So a lot of people interested. We can touch on that. I do want to touch on because the title of this chat is Star Power, right? And I did have some stuff lined up that I wanted to talk about because we've talked about a lot of people, but these two guys here, and I have them on the thumbnail. Um, the guys that have actually proven something and have done something here. And I know it's not necessarily maybe relative to spring, and we want them to be healthy and ready and able to go. But I'm just excited to see Bijan and Xavier play in a better with better players. I'm excited to see what they can do when Xavier Worthy's not bracketed all over the place, or Bijan Robinson has better blocking, right? Or we now have this beast of a tight end running down the field in Jatavian Sanders. I'm excited to see how those guys pop off in their matchups, because those are the guys that our team is built around in terms of what scares the opponent, what keeps the opponent up at night. Now, hopefully, guys like Nayer, Quinn Ewers, who has to be a star in his own right. Hopefully, those guys can pop up. Jatavian Sanders can put on early, so that the more people, the more threats we have, the more people that are worried about us. The more difficult it is to prepare for Texas outright. So, I'm really, really, really excited to see just the overall development around those two, because Kieran told y'all we got Bijan in his video. Let's see here in the chat. I'm gonna touch on Hall in a little bit because I do want to get to some of this stuff, unless y'all just want to talk about it right now. But I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's chat off top. Jonathan Miller was good. Colby was good. Joe Blaine on Facebook from West Texas. What's up? Trip, we will have Tran on next week. Tran will be on. Kira will be on. We're also going to do a roundtable, college football roundtable, after all the spring games are done. Oh yeah, so the ESPN, I see a lot of people getting with the FPI rankings and stuff, and it said this goes into the Kool-Aid argument because they had us at like 6, and then I saw multiple scenarios where they had Texas making the college football playoffs. Hey, this is what moves the needle at ESPN. They know where their bread is buttered. They know what gets the people talking. They know where engagement comes from. It's not deep, whether it's justified or not. But that also speaks to star power. ESPN knows who Quinn Ewers is. ESPN knows Bijan Robinson. They know the analytics of social media in terms of who moves the needle out there of these names. But at the end of the day, with Texas, those of us here in the chat, we've seen this team enough to know what it is, people. And I see Marlon touched on it earlier. It's going to come in the trenches for us. We are built around our stars, and our stars are the ones that need to scare people. But our trench play got to be a buck for us to even be having conversations like this, or else where are we even going? Because I mean, it's not like we didn't have them pop off last year, and we were still. I know some of you guys get sensitive when I bring up 5 and 7, but that was the reality of the situation. Bill, how are you doing? Good to see you in here, man. I got to get back to your email, by the way. I haven't forgotten about you and Tran. typed up some stuff as well that he wanted to send to you. So I need to get that your way. I appreciate you sending us that email. But I do see you in here. So Marlon, before we talk about D line, let's talk about the Ajayi Hall stuff because Lando kind of laid this out here too. By the way, if you're here again, friendly reminder, hit that subscribe button, like button. Appreciate it. Helps us grow the channel platform. So he said they'll vet the Hall situation deeply. Jeff Banks was his primary recruit out of high school. He's familiar with the situation. I trust they'll make the right decision regarding him being a culture fit. Listen, I know a lot of people, and I'm with everybody that says I want to be in the talent acquisition business. I'm with you, and I'm with you in terms of wanting the best competition, especially at a position a receiver where we feel like we have talent. I feel like we have talent. I feel like we have a lot of talent, but I feel like, guys like Jay Witt, guys like Tron Mary, guys like Jaden Alexis who've been banged up. And then got some guys who haven't come on yet, specifically like Amuchi Dixon, or other guys who may be more complementary pieces like a Marcus Washington. It's one of these things where we've got to understand what we want to acquire. However, with Hall in particular, very, very talented. We know he was one of Alabama's big recruits, offensively, weapon-wise, all that type of stuff. I think it's a red flag. This is just me personally. I think it's a red flag when you're leaving a team coming off of a national championship appearance and you get essentially kicked off the team where there are 3 job openings. Slade Bolden's gone. Jamison Williams in the draft. John Mechie's in the draft. So they literally had Jalil Billingsley's transferred, if you want to consider pass catchers as tight ends. Like, they literally have job openings for a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback with a team that's on a revenge tour. And it's like, you couldn't lock down a job over there between you and JoJo Earl and Ja'Cory Brooks and all those guys. We know the only person they had really coming in that's established like that was Jermaine Burton. So to me, that's a red flag that you're leaving that situation. I understand, Sark and all of that. That's just me personally. Okay. I see 40 because 40 and I completely disagree on this situation. And that's okay. That's why we have these talks. So for me personally, that's a red flag. But I'm with Landon. You got to vet the situation. Why did he, there were some cases where, he was transferring high schools where he was going to go to a better situation and improve those type of things. But there's also situations where, it's like, hey, I don't understand how you're not just excited about locking down a spot at a school that has sent more receivers to the NFL than as many. It's probably like them, Ohio State, and LSU recently. Like, it's been crazy the amount of production that's come out of Bama. So I'm just saying, do your homework. And the reason why I'm saying do your homework is because this is how some of y'all get into really bad relationships in life, where you don't vet out a situation thoroughly. That's all I'm saying. And that's what the coaches are going to have to do to make sure that, and he does is saying, hey, I'm sure he's better than everybody you think it's in mine. Sure. But he wasn't better than, it's just confusing for me. And the things I hear from people at Alabama are interesting. So, but if they evaluate it, he's a guy that can run as well as anybody on this team. He's 6'3". I love the way he attacks the football in the air. Absolutely, he could help us if he stays on the field and doesn't. Absolutely. But we got to see what happens. But that's a hot name. Now, I'm very interested in the people that are again, going back to the trench conversation. Folks like, Mims from Georgia, I see somebody else put that here too. My guy Mathis said he's committing at the end of the month. Um, yeah, they got to lock this down. The Mathis thing, Mims. The longer the Mims recruitment goes on, I feel like we have a better chance because you started hearing about some of the Florida schools like Florida State and Miami. But I do think Texas has a good sell there with Kyle Flood and some of the stuff that's going on. Immediate opportunity to play, even with all the linemen coming in this summer. I think we have, um, you know, I think we have that ability to do so. And many of you remember Caleb Johnson was here previously, previous staff. They had some issues there. Jonathan Miller said, "We need Mathis." Yes, we do. There's no way to sugarcoat that. There's no way to sugarcoat that, in my opinion. I've said this before too. You need even the guys that are there competing right now, the Baron Sorrells, the Justice Finkleys, the Ovi Agofus, all those guys, Jere Bledsoe, who we just heard, the appendicitis thing and is out for the rest of the spring. All these guys across the defensive line, you need somebody established like that that helps them be better with their snap count, where you're not just totally reliant on somebody. Homer with some tea. I love it. I love it. Yeah, player led. Isn't that what we've been talking about recently? Wanting to be a player led organization? Isn't that what we've been wanting as fans? Trying to strengthen our culture? Now we also need to upgrade our talent, no doubt about it. But we again, before we just jump into the relationship, Adam caught on to what I just said. A lot of guys who are freshmen too. Luke C is in here. What's up? What's up? What's up? Alabama's not playing around. Oh, by the way, we play them week 2, right? But these guys again, they're on a revenge tour. They feel like they should have won a national championship last year. These guys aren't messing around. They feel like somebody's not helping them and focus on winning. Then, good riddance. But that's them. Now, Marlon, I will say this. The reason why I would entertain it is the injuries. I hear you. I like the people we have, but the injury concerns is hard. It's hard. I mean, I know, Landon, I don't know if you have an update on Troy. It sounds like he's progressing well. We've been seeing the clips of Jay Witt cooking in the slot again. But you want firepower. The spots is going to be interesting because it sounds like there's going to be some manipulation going on too. I agree with you. Obviously, I'm saving a spot for O'Shawn Mathis. I think they're still going to be looking at another safety as well as potentially a linebacker. And so safety, linebacker, and tackle. We're hearing. So I want to give a shout out to Behind Enemy Lines Horns, Chris over in Oklahoma, who just started up his YouTube channel, doing a great job. So on Spaces, Chris, weeks ago, before anybody really even was on this, he suggested, "Hey, why don't we try to give Hayden Connor some snaps at left tackle?" And this was totally his idea. And my whole feedback to that was, if they do decide to do that and steal some reps from him, over at guard and move him over to tackle. Let's do that in the spring where we have more opportunity to reps before all the rest of the group, comes in. And he was right. That's what they've been doing. According to the last, reports, Cole Hudson stepping up at guard, Hayden Connor getting some minutes over at left tackle. Now, let me ask you guys this. When y'all hear that, is that a good thing? Are you excited about that? We're building depth? Or is that, Andre Carrick is in trouble? Or, whether you expected something out of Jalen Garth or not. But what does that tell you? Because, again, going back to the Kieran's video about drinking Kool-Aid versus trying to live in a realm of reality, we can't just drink the Kool-Aid and be like, oh, this is great. What's his face is going to be left tackle, or what's his face going to do this? Sometimes that's because somebody else is not performing well and they have to do it. And now it's screwed up the original plan. And now we're on plan B. We have to pay attention to what's happening there and really scrutinize these things, across the board. When you see moves like that, especially in the trenches. So you guys let me know what you think about that. Yeah, we touched on that earlier, Sark Recruiter Hall, and Lando even put in here that Jeff Banks was the primary recruiter. Yep. Relationships across college football. I see you guys talking about JT Daniel heading to West Virginia. That's a big one. We'll touch on that here at the end of the chat. Bill, I got to see his tape. What year is Hicks? If you don't mind me asking. The Denton Rhyme program, South Oak Cliff. Some of these Dallas area high schools, those are the schools you want to be in business in. That's where, honestly, look, we're being real with ourselves. That's where Texas A&M is starting to make some strides with some of these South Oak Cliff kids and stuff. So we've got to really lock down some of these talent-rich schools that are making noise right now that have just so much talent, people with cousins and all this type of stuff. 23. Thank you. D. Brown said, that's my hood. Thank you. I did not catch the live today. Luke, fill me in the comments on why I was fire. I didn't see that one. 131 in here. Appreciate y'all jumping in. Hit me, hit that like button. Let's keep rapping. I don't have any word on Gilbo. Hopefully, for and Jonathan over at Locked On Longhorns, he said it best. You got to look at the player first, or the person first, the young man first, and hopefully, get everything cleared up and he's okay. Stop being knuckleheads out here. I love this. Rapping and talking with each other. Yeah, I got to check that out. Somebody in here with the Arch Watch. Yeah, they have family ties over there. I think his sister is at UVA. And I think the mom went to UVA too, or something like that. But I don't think that's a huge deal at all in terms of how it impacts our recruitment. From everything that everybody has told me, we're still in very, very good position. Um, I think that's going to be an area of focus coming out of spring to try to lock that in. I've been encouraged by what I've read on all the insider sites and everything about people that have the practice reports regarding Alfred Collins. I've been encouraged by it. Am I hearing that he's wrecking shop, bull and china shop type stuff? Not necessarily. I've heard some really, really good stuff about Byron Murphy as well. So I just want to see so one of the things I'm gonna pay attention to when I get there next week, just his body demeanor and all that type of stuff, and hand placement, motor. When you are getting, even though they're quote unquote scrimmage reps and things of that sort, we know what we need from them. Now they are going to try to do more multiple fronts. So whether that's at times depending on the opponent or situation, whether it's a 3-man alignment or more of the 2-4-5 stuff or 3-3-5. So I'm excited to see how they mix and match those pieces, especially with Jomo hopefully playing a little bit more inside. I want as many people as possible to play at their natural positions. Um, we've been asking for years, and this goes across multiple staffs. We've asked people for years to, hey, we need you to fill this position because you have the best physical capability to do it, instead of, hey, this is the position that you naturally will play, right? And so that comes with recruiting as well, and just being stout up front. So the better we can be there, and again, that goes to the Mathis thing again. If you have somebody who just can lock down on that side that gets attention, then makes everybody else more comfortable. And it's a domino effect. It impacts everybody else. See, this one's a good one here about Keelan. I like Keelan, man. It's cool that he's in a lot of these clips too. I don't know if you guys have seen him online when they show some of the clips, as well as the practice reports. I've heard good things from him. Hopefully, he doesn't fall down a whole bunch like he did this past year. We get the cleats fixed and rectified. Isaac, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? I'm just going back a little bit in the chat. How we doing, Isaac? Isaac's you know who in Kieran's video. Just so y'all know. Yeah, I can't be in the business anymore. And I'm going to continue to repeat this. The two things about defense when I made that defensive video as well. The biggest things on defense for me is stopping the run. And when I say stopping the run, I'm not saying we're going to be some elite, you know, we're shutting everybody down and nobody's getting more than 50 yards against us. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is and I'm laughing because I see Horn's Kofi comment. It just cracked me up. It's hard to look at the chat and talk at the same time because y'all know how to get me. And Chris knows how to get me with the Kofi comment. But in terms of the defense, it's not even shutting down the run all the way. It's, hey, just don't freaking give up 300 yards rushing and where we can't get off the field and we got hands on hips the whole fourth quarter. And now it's like, physical domination and we're not even letting people's quarterbacks try to beat us. I got to get out of that business. I got to get out of the business of we're not taking away people's plan A or anything like that. Um, stopping the run in 2022 is different from stopping the run in the 1990s, but it's also mentality for your entire defense in terms of setting the tone, right? And so that's a big one for me. With the secondary, I've been encouraged by what we've been hearing from Keaton Crawford, Anthony Cook, Jadae Barron, all those guys. Is communication. And I touched on that in the video as well, right? And so the one thing I wish I touched on more on was the turnovers, because I think communication can also lead to turnovers as well, right? When you fix something or you make an adjustment, we talk about player led, we've been talking about accountability. That also goes into to scheme, into, hey, I just saw something. We're doing this whole cover three robber thing. Maybe I can cheat up a little bit when this guy's running this dig route and jump it. Are you okay with me doing that, Anthony? Anthony's like, go for it. I got you on the backside, brother. And y'all talking and y'all work it out before you even get off the field. There are certain things you can mix in if you fully understand your scheme. This is why continuity is important on offense and defense, of guys understanding what they're being asked to do, because they can problem solve real time, and that can relate into turnovers in a game of inches and beating people. So for me, it's communication on the back end with my DBs. Are we all reading from the same sheet of music? And then up front with my trenches and my backers and run fits and all that stuff. Just just being better against the run. Those two things alone. I'm not saying we got to be this all-world defense, but I don't even think we have that personnel yet. Look at Lando and I have been talking about NFL draft season. Go look at teams like Georgia, teams like Penn State, that are sending edges and all these exotic type of guys to the pros. We'll get there, but if we can control those two things, we're giving ourselves more than a good chance every single week. All right. I want to. All right. So let me go back to football Texas. Heard they're moving around the O-line. Yep. It's not ideal, but we should be prepared for it. It's not ideal, but that's the situation our roster's in. It's expected at this point, in my opinion. Like let's think about this. We all talked about nobody's really, we're all already on edge about the tackles situation. We feel good about the interior. We don't feel great about the interior. We all know how excited we are about the incoming class. We knew what the situation was. So this whole thing playing out, it's not unexpected, but I agree with you. It's not ideal, but this staff, Kyle Flood in particular, they've got to be prepared for it. I think that's also why they're going to more of the play action stuff. They're trying to focus on really, really establishing the run. Can we run inside zone so we can get back to our RPO basic stuff and helping the team out? Can we execute screens this year? There are certain ways you can scheme out of, bad offensive line play to a certain degree. See the Cincinnati Bengals. They didn't allow shitty offensive line play to completely just ruin their whole season. So you can scheme out of things. The Bengals were good at executing screens. The Bengals could run to the outside. They had certain things built in to at least get the ball out of the hand of the quarterback quick enough. So I think Texas last year, because we had a misevaluation, we really, really fell in love with some of our long developing stuff and wanting to let plays, the deep crossers, all those things that take a lot of time. Hopefully we'll get to the point where we can run some of that stuff, but it's got to be in a situational aspect, right? We've got to be a good screen team. We've got to be a good RPO team. All the quick game stuff we got to be good at. Yes, we all get intoxicated by Quintavious Ewers and his arm and arm talent, and Xavier Worthy being able to, take the top off, and Xavier and Isaiah Nair and all those guys, all that. But that stuff will come if we establish our quick game stuff a little bit better. I gave you a shout out earlier. It was probably before you came on. This is what I was talking about. Horns behind enemy lines. You were the one. You were the first person that brought up Hayden Connor playing tackle. Was I think it was the first week of spring. You brought it up in Spaces, and I told you that I'm cool with it as long as they do it in the spring. I don't like experimenting and doing stuff in the fall after you had me do nothing but this in the spring. So credit to you, Horns behind enemy lines, and y'all go subscribe to his YouTube channel while you're here. He's doing great work over there. And I think you're coming down to the spring game as well. Yeah, it's a group effort. And if you guys haven't seen Texas Homer's, all of Texas Homer's content, right? Like, if you just want to learn football, like in all seriousness, if you want to learn, understand football, and really, really, really be plugged in on what's going on, latest and greatest, subscribe to Texas Homer. But his Brennan Marion video, a lot of this is touched on in terms of everybody being involved in the framework of the physicality of the offense too, and helping out the running backs. How about the quarterbacks? Whether it's quarterback run game sometimes, whether it's running, screens, all that type of stuff. Our quick game stuff got to be better. If you go and look at Quinn Ewers, if you really watch like South Lake Carroll when he was there, they ran a lot of screens. He was throwing a lot of screens. You know who else throws a lot of screens? Because this is going to lead me to the next thing. If we want to start having the Kool-Aid drinkers, the Kool-Aid drinkers are going to eat this up. In a perfect world, Quinn Ewers and Steve Sarkisian are to us as what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid were to the Kansas City Chiefs that first year when he got Patrick Mahomes in there. And no one really knew what to, at that time, I think it was 2018, no one really knew what to expect of Patrick Mahomes. He's super raw coming out of Texas Tech. He started that one game at the end of the season, and then everybody was, they moved on from Alex Smith. It was this whole thing, right? If you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, that first year with Mahomes, when they're doing a lot of RPO, a lot of play action, he's throwing the ball all over the place. They were one of the high percentage screen teams in the league, and still are. The Chiefs are still wizards in terms of their screen game, short passing game, which opens up the other things, which opened up the Tyreek Hills and the Travis Kelce's and all that stuff that we saw, and the fires we saw pop off. For the Kool-Aid drinkers out there, in a perfect world, with what you have as an offensive line, you got to be good in that area. You've got to be, and you got the personnel to do it, by the way. Roshan, Bijan, Keelan Robinson, you got all these people that are really, really good catching the ball in the backfield. Really, really good running behind and following that. So that's something we got to, really, really be good at across the board, in my opinion, heading into this season. We can't just be reliant on, we're going to try to take deep shots and throw 9 routes and all this stuff. Then we're going to be, 3 and out with the quickness again, like we were in the past. Good stuff. He said he's going to be Bill, what's Hall's availability? Not availability, eligibility. And how are y'all feeling about these tackles that are in the portal? For all the portal guys, all the people, you guys are some of you guys that live on 247 monitoring everybody, every name that comes through there. So, Gray Man, good question about Jake Majors and who can push him. And this has been, and this is not disrespect to Jake Majors. He's the brain of the offensive line, and really is the point of communication down there for those guys, for those that don't know and understand the responsibilities of your center. But he is undersized. And you look at some of these games and we just talk about establishing the run and inside zone and what that means for our entire offense. That's been an issue up front. Connor Robertson is one of those guys. I honestly think Cole Hudson could potentially compete at center too, but they seem to be working him at guard right now. But we definitely need some of these bigger bodies to push. I think Robertson is going to be the person that pushes him ultimately, but I don't foresee that being this year. The other person you got to do, and I've heard them do this, is Junior Aguilar taking snaps at center. So correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you could get a little bit size bump there with Junior if you want to work Junior at center, but he's hasn't played that position really before. So um, I don't know. I think you're going to have to get through this year at least. But you're right. I mean, it's been 4 years of this, 4 years of that. It's a weakness with certain matchups. I don't think he's a complete full blown liability, but in terms of the competition that you guys are looking for, it probably would have to come from either Junior Cole Hudson or Connor Robertson. From my vantage point, I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. Okay, so he has 4 years. What's up, Sugar Bear? I haven't seen you in a minute. All right. I'm gonna answer this question here. What have you heard about Arch? We talked about that earlier. I think we're in a really, really good spot overall. I think the development of Quinn Ewers and how good he's already starting to look is a plus in terms of that recruitment. But I haven't heard anything new. No. I right now have us right now with the current roster that does not include O'Shawn Mathis. I think we're an 8-4 football team. I don't know if that's crazy to say, if I'm too low, I'm too high. I think we're 8-4 football team. Um, I think if you get a Mathis, and depending on how the portal plays out, I mean, look. Also, we got to pay attention to this. Bama's still working the portal. Now, some may sit up here and say, they're recruiting off other people's rosters. Excuse me, things of that sort. But I mean, if they're out here churning the portal, we need to be doing the same thing. And we know we are, right? We got people coming in for visits and things of that sort. So um, it's going to be very interesting. Is the super chat working? I hope so. What do you mean by that, Marlon? You think I'm too low at 8-4? We were 5-7 last year, so I mean that's a pretty big. That's a big turnaround in my opinion with a freshman quarterback. And it's not like we. I mean, we got. I agree, we got significantly better. I agree that the continuity will help, but I don't trust them enough to put more than that on their plate. Is what I'm saying. I don't trust them. Yeah, they got to show me. But I love the people. And Marlon, if you're gonna come in here and say 10-2, 11-1, I'm not gonna shoot you down, brother. Drink your Kool-Aid. Michael Martin said, anything less than 10 wins is subpar for any UT team ever. I'm just looking at it as a build. I think from last year we were in a rebuild and we're trying to build it up. We're talking about a whole bunch of freshmen playing, by the way. And we're talking about freshmen potentially replacing people who have underperformed, we'll say. No, when Kieran comes on here, I'll tell you, Kieran's doing work right now because he's covering the fight this weekend. But when we talk next week, I'll tell you, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid personally. I'm 8-4. Frank said the Aggie way. Michael, I hear you. I hear you. You're heard. Okay. But we are in that situation, and we have been in that situation now for a long time. And we shouldn't have to rebuild, but we are rebuilding. Now, rebuild they don't have to take 5 years. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is we can't, I don't want to be delusional and just ignore what we've seen and just completely ignore the fact that we still have a lot of people on, like, I gotta see them improve on, especially on defense, man. And now I got people in here saying 8-4 is too generous. I love our fan base. I love our fan base. Marlon, we did. That's why I said we're gonna win 8 games. We did upgrade those things. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is exactly what, and then somebody said I'm being too. Oh man. Thank you. See, my friend Texas Homer. That's where I'm at. Why are we ignoring this? We just talked about. The title of the video is "We are built around star power," which is why ESPN and FPI and all this stuff. People like Texas before the season. We got the names. Got brand. We got names. Bijan's a real college football star. Xavier Worthy's a real college football star. But the sketchy O line thing is it's either people that have been underperforming or people that have no experience. That's what we're dealing with. So, and I'm looking at what the roster is right now. Now, if I get somebody in here that's a Calvin Anderson level at left tackle, and I get an O'Shawn Mathis, and I get, maybe another linebacker or something, okay, we can have a conversation about changing the outcome. But right now, this is exactly where I'm at. And read the practice reports. We just had this conversation last year. Marlon's trying to. Do y'all see what's happening in the chat right now? Marlon's trying to get me to drink the Kool-Aid. Steve, think about it. That's what Kieran was saying. Yo, take a sip. Take a sip. I will not, sir. You're not going to get me. I have no problem if they exceed my expectations, but I can't gas them up again. They haven't earned it yet. Not like that. We have individuals that are, again, star power. We got individuals that are there. Y'all are hilarious. I think okay, so you try to get. Oh man, my man hit me with deductive reasoning. I love it. 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 Marlon, you got people on your side in the chat, brother. I love it. Show us the way. Tracy, I'll be at the spring game. Tracy's checking in. Tracy, your zebras cost my Spurs early in that first half. Now I'll take the L for us getting eliminated last night in the play-in game, but the officiating in New Orleans yesterday was bullshit in the first half. I'm just going to leave it at that, respectfully. But I will take a drink from you, brother. I saw some of the. I think you're in Tennessee right now, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully, you're getting some bourbon over there. We're gonna have a great crew. Tran's gonna be out there. Whole crew gonna be out there. What's the outcast no breaks? BA's gonna be out there. Got BA in here. BA, we're gonna have to do I want to talk to BA about the Texas A&M spring game and their spring. So we'll get him on here for our A&M coverage. Homer's gonna be out there. Man, we're gonna have and it's a night event. Let's go. Where's the all gas, no brakes hat? Leave me alone, John. Frank said my Kool-Aid pitcher is empty. Yeah, Homer. We got the whole crew. And when you guys see Texas Homer out there, please say thank you for all the great work he's been doing on YouTube, keeping everybody informed in the fan base. What's the temperature down there? I'm in Dallas right now. It's like 70, 80. Hell yeah, Spurs got 3 first-round picks. What's good? How's Lucas Calf doing, Lando? Hit me in the comments with the calf update. I know you've been consulting with some different doctors and trainers on how to get your boy back. Don't put that on me. All right, so I'm gonna go just a few more minutes, and we'll tie off because, like I said, this whole next week we're gonna have some good lives and stuff coming up and get people on the channel. That's my dude, JT. Oh, that's one thing I will say though. The chemistry I think there is something to be said for their workouts beforehand. And what I'm looking for from Quinn and Hudson too is the work is not done. This isn't like Thanos when they found him on his planet and he's like, the work is done. This is not the opposite, right? Like the work has just begun actually. Like after the spring, this summer, getting that chemistry with your guys. Offense has now been installed. Excuse me. Teach the teacher, train the trainer. Those type of things, right? Again, problem solving on your own, players. I love the progress that we've been hearing about Jatavian this spring. Is exactly what I've been wanting to hear. Exactly what I've been wanting to hear. Robert, I'm not going to be at the Spence fight. My cousin has a wedding this weekend. I'm really bummed about it because it's right in my backyard. So it sucks. So I'm going to have to catch it on the replay because my cousin's wedding is Saturday night. You want it? Oh man. Great man, please can we be objective for a second? Can you give JT some credit and just say he's coming along? Just give him a little bit of credit. Why do we have to argue about this every video, brother? Just give him a little bit of credit. It's okay. I'm not saying you even got to say you're wrong or anything. Just say that you're excited that he's coming along. That's a good thing. Why is it that when he's coming along now, it's got to be, oh, the D line sucks? Because I know I'm reading between the lines. I know that's what you're implying. You can't fool me. You can't fool me, brother. Just be honest. It's okay. We're a little over an hour. I'll take it to the 110 and I will sign off. I know there's the Thursday night Longhorn Spaces that's going on too, but that I'll try to jump in as well and chop it up. Yeah, that's another thing too. I want to get a couple things of equipment in here. Some wild card. What happened? What just leaked? What just leaked? Or maybe I got to handle that offline. All right. So Homer actually brought it up earlier about uh, the offenses in the Big 12, but JT Daniels being at West Virginia, if he's healthy, Alex said, "I want your 4 losses. You're ignoring me." It's like a homework assignment. Show me your work. Show me your work. Oh, excuse me. Oh, man. Have your 4 losses next live. I love it. I love it. Oh, man. No, but the West Virginia thing, JT Daniels there, Graham Harrell there, Neil Brown, they're building. These are things you got to pay attention to. Regardless of how you feel about Gary Bohannon at Baylor, I respect Baylor. I respect Dave Aranda. I expect them to be good. I didn't know that Abram Smith was going to be Abram Smith last year. So this is the other thing about this conference that has been very, very, for our sake, notorious for, is people pop up out of nowhere. I also think it's interesting that I saw one of the lines had Texas Tech at 7 wins, which is interesting for Joey McGuire's first year. But we know what he's trying to put together over there at Texas Tech. Now, I think as a Texas fan, again, my Kool-Aid drinkers are going to say this, and I know Marlon's going to say this. Steve, look how many first-year Big 12 coaches there are in the conference right now, right? TCU, Tech, OU. Got a lot of coaches in here that are brand new to the conference in terms of year one taking over the program. So that should aid Texas, who not only has a coach that was here last year, but also now has a situation where you have a lot of guys that played and at least have experience on your roster. So theoretically, that should give you an advantage. But I've seen people just pop up in this conference. I see it every freaking year. Every year. So I'm almost building in a buffer there, if you will, if that makes sense. Quick shout out to our sponsor, BUSR. For those of you who are looking to bet on Spence, Ugas, that card is actually really, really good. Some really, really good fights on that card. Playing games this weekend, as well as NBA playoffs getting ready to start up. Overall, hit up busr.com/fanatic. Got the promo code on there. Excuse me. And you can get some casino chips as well as if you participate in that. Alex Thomas, you said, why not us? That's what I said the last 2 years. Robert Sanchez, all right. I think Spence wins by decision. I think it's going to be a very, very close fight, like a 115, 113 type situation. Um, we know Ugas is a Cuban going up against a Southpaw. He's very, very effective. He's very effective defensively, and he's very effective landing his power shots out of the counter situations. So, you know, the man looked really, really good against Manny Pacquiao. Now, granted, that was Manny Pacquiao on short notice as he filled in as the replacement. So, but with Spence, we've got to get to a point, and I hate to say this, but it's going to be really tough to beat him in that environment on his own soil with the energy that I know he's going to bring trying to get the Terrence Crawford fight. And I think that's a fight now that both Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence want. I think that's a fight that boxing needs. And but I think it's going to be a very, very, very close fight with the way that Ugas can fight out of the Cuban counter punching style. So we'll see. I like your energy, Dodge. He said he got Spence by KO. We'll see. That Danny Garcia fight was a little bit closer than people realize. But I'm a Spence fan, so I would love nothing more to see him get a knockout. But this is just out of respect for Ugas. All right, y'all. I'm gonna sign off here, and I appreciate it. Like I said, we're gonna have a lot more activity picking up on the channel. It's good just to jump back in and talk a little football. Um, again, seeing Quinn Ewers for the first time in front of the media, Hudson Card, them handle themselves very, very well. We addressed, I saw somebody up there ask me about the Ojimo and Sark situation. Like I said, I think they're both right. And at the end of the day, we are trying to rebuild our culture, and players are fed up. People that are serious, want to prioritize winning, and the coaches want to have some good, good discussion around the program. Yeah, roundtable's coming soon. After the spring, we'll do the roundtable. That is coming soon. But I appreciate y'all. Hit up busr.com/fanatic. Y'all know where to go. Hit that subscribe button. Share with a friend. Trying to grow the community as always. I love interacting with you guys. It's always a hell of a lot of fun. And we'll be back with more. Remember, horns always up.